In 2015, Forever 21 looked unstoppable. 800 stores, 57 countries, billions in annual revenue. It wasn't just another clothing brand. For an entire generation, Forever 21 was the mall. The bright yellow bag, the chaotic racks, the feeling that if you didn't buy something today, it might be gone tomorrow. But while shoppers were still walking through those giant stores, something almost invisible was beginning to destroy the company. Not another mall brand, not luxury fashion, not even Amazon. An algorithm, because on the other side of the world, a new kind of retailer was being built, one that didn't guess trends months in advance. It watched them form in real time, tested products instantly, scaled winners automatically. It turned fashion into a data problem. Today, Forever 21's US mall empire has collapsed, and Chinese algorithmic retailers like Shein helped rewrite the rules of global fashion. This is the story of what happens when a company built for one era meets a machine designed to move faster than culture itself. Before the bankruptcy filings, Forever 21 was one of the most powerful forces in American retail. The company was founded in Los Angeles in 1984 by Do-Won Chang and Jin-Suk Chang, South Korean immigrants who spotted a gap in the market. Young shoppers wanted fashion that looked current. They wanted it cheap, and they wanted it now. The formula was simple: see a trend, make it affordable, get it into stores fast, then repeat. For the mall era, it worked nearly perfectly. Teenagers and young adults didn't discover clothes through TikTok. They discovered them on weekends, inside malls, walking past food courts, moving from store to store, then stepping into Forever 21. The experience was messy, overwhelming, and addictive. Racks everywhere, styles everywhere, cheap dresses, trendy tops, accessories, shoes, entire floors of fast fashion. Part of the appeal was the uncertainty. Forever 21 wasn't supposed to feel organized. It felt like a hunt. Customers learned fast. If you saw something you liked, you bought it immediately, because next week it might not be there. That manufactured scarcity made the store feel alive. It created urgency. It made shopping feel like discovery, and for years it worked. Forever 21 expanded fast. Stores got bigger. The footprint went global. At its peak, the company was pulling in more than $4 billion a year. It had figured out fast fashion in America, but hidden inside that success was an assumption that would eventually destroy it. Forever 21 believed scale was the advantage. More stores, bigger stores, more categories, more inventory, more of everything. In fashion, bigger doesn't always mean stronger. Sometimes bigger just means slower. And Forever 21 was about to become very slow. The bigger Forever 21 became, the more it trapped itself. The company started opening enormous stores, fashion supermarkets, multiple floors, massive square footage, huge leases, huge staffing costs, huge amounts of inventory just to make the space feel full. And this created a quiet problem. The original Forever 21 model ran on scarcity, small quantities, constant discovery, the feeling that items could disappear, but giant stores needed to be filled. Fill giant stores and you need more product. More product means more inventory risk. More inventory risk means more markdowns, and markdowns slowly train customers to wait. The treasure hunt turns into a discount bin. Meanwhile, the company expanded into new categories: menswear, beauty, lifestyle, more concepts, more complexity. And outside Forever 21, the retail world was moving in a completely different direction. Instagram changed how people discovered fashion. Smartphones changed how people shopped. Then TikTok changed the speed of culture itself. Trends no longer traveled from runway to magazine to celebrity to store. They exploded overnight. A color, a silhouette, a micro aesthetic, one viral outfit. Suddenly, millions of people wanted the same thing at the same time and stopped caring days later. Forever 21 was still built around physical retail logic: design, produce, ship, fill stores, wait for customers. But culture was moving in real time now. That gap was fatal. Forever 21 had built a machine for the mall era, but the customer had moved into the phone. And inside the phone, fashion didn't move at the speed of stores, it moved at the speed of attention. Shein didn't look like a threat at first, it looked cheap, disposable, almost unserious. A website full of low-priced clothes that traditional retailers mostly ignored. But underneath that surface, Shein was building something Forever 21 never had: a retail operating system. Forever 21 was a fashion company that used technology. Shein was closer to a technology company that happened to sell fashion. Traditional fashion retail runs on predictions. A buyer studies trends. A merchandising team makes decisions. The company places orders. Factories produce inventory. Products arrive weeks weeks or months later. Then the retailer hopes customers still want them. That model is built on forecasting. Shein's model was built on feedback. Every click, every search, every scroll, every add to cart, every abandoned cart, every product that went viral, every product that died instantly, all of it became data, and that data fed a system designed to test demand before committing to inventory. Instead of ordering thousands of a new item and hoping it sold, Shein launched small batches, 100 pieces, 200 pieces, just enough to see whether the market cared. If the item failed, it disappeared with limited damage. If it worked, production scaled fast. Forever 21 was trying to predict what shoppers would want months from now. Shein was watching what shoppers wanted right now, and the entire supply chain was built around that difference. Small factories, short production cycles, constant testing, rapid reorders, style cycling through algorithmic feedback loops. This wasn't just faster, fast fashion, it was real-time fashion, and it made the mall model look like it belonged to a different century. Forever 21 needed people to walk into a store. Shein followed them into their phones. Forever 21 had racks and leases and seasonal inventory bets. Shein had data, feedback loops, and micro-tests. Once the consumer moved from the mall to the screen, the gap only widened. What happened to Forever 21 is playing out across industries right now. Companies are discovering they're not just competing against other brands, they're competing against systems that learn faster than they do. If you want more stories about the business decisions and blind spots that quietly reshape entire industries, subscribe. This is what we cover here. By the late 2010s, the collision was unavoidable. Forever 21 was carrying the weight of its own empire. Huge stores, expensive leases, inventory pressure, declining mall traffic, a customer base spending more and more time online. Meanwhile, Shein and other Chinese online retailers were accelerating. They didn't need a mall. They didn't need prime retail corners. They didn't need massive stores preloaded with product before knowing whether customers wanted it. They could test, measure, and react. Forever 21's greatest strength had become its weakness. The company had spent decades building some of the biggest stores in the mall, but the mall wasn't the center of youth culture anymore. The phone was. On the phone, algorithms decide what gets attention, and attention increasingly decides what gets purchased. The old Forever 21 shopping trip depended on discovery inside a physical space. Shein turned discovery into a feed. You didn't go anywhere. You opened the app, you scrolled. The system learned what you wanted, showed you more of it. In 2019, Forever 21 filed for bankruptcy. It was easy to frame it as a standard retail failure. Too many stores, too much debt, too many bad leases, too much inventory. All of that was true. But the bankruptcy wasn't the beginning of the collapse. It was the moment the damage became impossible to hide. Speed had gone first, then relevance, then cultural control, then customers. After the filing, the company was sold to a group that included mall owners and brand managers. Think about that for a second. The buyers weren't just rescuing a retailer, they were trying to stabilize the mall ecosystem around it, because empty Forever 21 stores weren't just bad for the company, they were bad for the malls themselves. Then the pandemic hit. A retailer built around physical stores suddenly found itself in a world where stores could close overnight. Digital native platforms had exactly the advantage the moment demanded. Already online, already mobile, already built for direct to consumer. Forever 21 tried to adapt. Digital marketing, AI-generated campaigns, online partnerships, even a deal connected to Shein. But none of it changed the underlying problem. Forever 21 was adding technology on top of an old model. Shein had built its model around technology from the start. You can put a new screen inside an old machine. It's still the old machine. In 2025, Forever 21's US operating company filed for bankruptcy again. Second time in 6 years. The goal wasn't a comeback. It was a controlled wind down. Liquidation sales, store closures, a mall empire being taken apart piece by piece. The collapse wasn't one villain's doing. It wasn't simply killed by Shein. It got hit by everything at once. Overexpansion, debt, weak mall traffic, a shifting consumer, pandemic disruption, inventory risk, and brutal competition from platforms built for the phone. Shein wasn't the only cause. But Shein represented what Forever 21 failed to become. Forever 21 is what happens when a company built for one era keeps scaling that same model into the next. Shein is what happens when a company designs its entire system around new rules, and those rules were merciless: speed over size, feedback over forecasting, data over gut instinct, mobile attention over mall traffic, small batch testing over massive inventory bets, algorithmic learning over seasonal planning. Forever 21 wasn't just losing market share, it was losing to a different model of what retail is. Shein's rise isn't a clean success story. The same system that made it so competitive also made it deeply controversial. Ultra-fast fashion runs on novelty, constant production, constant consumption, more styles, more scrolling, more buying, more waste. Shein has faced sustained scrutiny over labor conditions, supply chain transparency, and environmental impact, scrutiny connected directly to the speed and pressure of its production model. The company argues that testing small batches before scaling cuts overproduction. Critics say the whole system is designed to accelerate buying and shorten the life of clothing. These aren't really opposing arguments. They can both describe the same machine. Shein may reduce the risk of producing mountains of the wrong item, but it also feeds a culture where trends vanish before most people finish checking out. The model that beat Forever 21 is more efficient. It is also, by design, built to make people buy more, faster, and throw it away sooner. Whether that's progress depends on what you think retail is for. Forever 21 thought it was competing against other clothing brands. By the time it understood the real competition was a system, it was already losing. Modern retail doesn't reward whoever builds the biggest stores. It rewards whoever learns fastest, whoever reads demand first, controls attention, moves from cultural signal to physical product before the old model has even placed an order. Forever 21 was built for a world where shoppers walked through malls looking for fashion. Shein was built for a world where fashion finds shoppers through algorithms. That gap swallowed Forever 21. The bright yellow bag meant something once: youth, speed, cheap discovery. Then the world sped up past it. The company that defined fast fashion turned out to be too slow for the future it helped build. Who's next? What other industries are still running on assumptions from a decade ago? What other companies are standing inside their version of the mall while somewhere else a system is already learning how to replace them? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want more stories about companies that miss the future they help create, subscribe. Thanks for watching.